Okay, stream is up. Let me go put it on here.
GSM in the Admiral building GSM room. As it's the first time we've had this.
Whatever.
Frumple's just like meh.
No, the day's been a pretty mad day, Chief. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wanted to play Interplanetary today, but whatever. Oh. I think I've actually been in this room before.
Ah, well, welcome.
I have all the docs up on my end.
Cool.
Is it not this room?
I can't. Oh, with the lag spike. Jesus, there we go. Okay, I think we're good to go. Unless we're gonna... I don't know if we need to wait on anyone here. Oh, hi, Needham.
Hi.
Okay. All right, let's start this meeting. Welcome, everyone, to the August 2022 GSM. Just got a few items today, including 5 conductor applications to go over. So let's get started with this. We're not doing the board because it's only 5 candidates. We're just going to do it how we usually do it for mod noms. So I'm going to randomize the staff list, and I'll call your name and you can vote on the candidate. I have received 2 absentee ballots from Dinty and 7D, so I'll be adding those as we go through it. Okay, so the first candidate we're going to look at is Bing Goose, who's been renamed to C-Packet. So, yeah, let's go through it. Tom Pear's in here. Mrs. not here. Okay. Okay, so me. Oh, why am I typing here? I'm voting neutral. I'll let Vicky handle it. Thanks. AP?
Yeah.
Neutral.
Simon?
Neutral.
Okay. Skelly?
Neutral.
Okay. Chief?
Neutral.
Protocol's not here. Needon?
Neutral.
7D's vote is neutral. Dinty is against, and he has some stuff to say about it in terms of reasoning. So I'll be mentioning that after this. Hut's not here, and that's about it. Oh, and Hut, are you in voice? Okay. You can't speak? Okay, I understand.
Hut is in voice, but is not listed as a speaker.
What's your vote?
He says neutral.
He said in staff in-game chat.
And then my vote's also neutral, since you never said anything.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry, Vicky, I skipped you. Okay, I'll start off with saying Dinty's vote here. Let me read what he said. Yeah, so he says, I think they are a friendly personality and they do have the knowledge required for the position, but I worry that they might try to push the boundaries a little too much. See last month's GSM, where they lay in front of the camera after being told by Chief not to stand there. In 3 months, they'll probably be a better fit.
I can kind of understand Dinty's reasoning, but I don't think that it goes far enough for me to vote against like Dinty has done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't know Bingus that well, or C-Packet rather. I don't know them enough, and I don't think the reasoning given is strong enough to change it to an against.
Yep, exact same reasoning as me. Just don't know them well enough.
Yeah.
I will say that I have seen them probably quite often, but my concern would be more along the lines of their maturity. They did maybe about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. They would always randomly say things in chat, to the point where some of it was inappropriate. I would say, but they have since stopped, so that's no longer really concerned. But again, I can concur that yeah, we don't really, with the people who say that they don't know him. I think maybe he just needs more time to be on the server.
Yeah, I'm pretty much of the same opinion of I don't think they've been around long enough and shown enough maturity for them.
I think that's pretty much consensus because everyone in the room voted neutral. Should we go on to the next candidate?
Yep.
Okay, so
I think
that's
so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 neutral. 0, 4,
And one against.
1 against, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 did not vote.
Okay, let's move on to Crepper. Randomize the list again, so let's do this. AP.
4.
Hut. You can type.
That's yes, 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I got it. Hut, you're next. It's funny I say Hut.
Go
now.
neutral.
Neutral. Okay. Next is Chief.
So I missed. Who were you voting under this?
Crepper. We're in the second one now,
Right. For Crepper, yeah, I'm a neutral.
Dinty? Oh, wait. What am I saying? Dinty's not here.
Yeah,
Dinty's
absentee
an absentee.
ballot.
Dinty voted neutral. Okay, and then Simon?
I'm 4.
Okay, 7D voted... damn Discord. 7D voted 4. I'm voting neutral. Skelly?
4.
Vicky?
I'm voting neutral.
Okay, and Needon.
4.
Okay. So that is a 5-5 vote there.
Wasn't there 11 votes on the last one? I
No,
thought
there was
it
10.
was. Oh, I thought Vicky said it was 10 neutral, 1 against.
No, it's
9 neutral, 1 against.
Not neutral.
Sorry. Misheard.
There is 16 staff as far as I recall, so that would be, it would add up to 16.
Well, hang on. 9 neutral, 1 against, and 5 did not. That adds up to 15.
But there was also one 4, right? Or did that get cancelled out later?
Not last. Not last. Remember, if it was doing the math on staff headcount, remember that Moj did step down from.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
From,
so that would be 15.
Yeah, we're 1-5.
Okay.
Moj is not on the list, on the voting list here right now.
My number is still, because we were at 16 for like 6 months, or more than 6 months actually. So that's where my mind was. Apologies.
Okay, I'm going to read out...
Anyway.
I'm just going to note out 7D did not put in any reasoning for any of his votes, so don't expect any extra stuff from him. But Dinty did say something about Crepper. He said he would also probably vote for, except I can't find evidence of their world-edit knowledge. Likely down to mobile Discord search being terrible. Oh, okay.
I guess I'll speak first on this one. Again, Crepper's been around since I want to say 2015 or 16. So I think I definitely give the benefit of the doubt in the world edit. The main issue I'd have is inactivity, but I see that they've been on more. And also, while 70 hasn't given any justification, 70 is probably the one who's seen Crepper the most. And I think that 70 voting for on Crepper is a pretty good endorsement for them.
Yeah, similar to me. I've always been of the mentality that of all of the traits, probably well-to-do knowledge is one of the least important, as stupid as that sounds, just because that's something where it can be learned, whereas I think he demonstrates the maturity necessary. As Skelly says, he's been around for a long time on the server, and I've got to know him pretty well, and I think he would be suitable.
Okay. The main reason I voted neutral is simply because I don't know Crepper very well. So based off of everything, it seems like the people who do know him trust him. So I'm willing to switch my vote to 4.
I have a question for the people voting for. Do you get the sense that Crepper wants to help out? Because I haven't. Again, I'm also in the camp of I haven't interacted with Crepper so much, so I don't know.
I mean, he's always like I've interacted quite a bit with him. I don't exactly know in what ways he's like really been able to help. Like with just when I meet him, like usually I'm like the only person around pretty much. But we also always have like good talks, and like he is like reaching out to like at least the people like who are open to like talk with him, and so that's a good thing. And also like I think he like said before that if like there was like a project, like I'm currently like in the planning phase, like the pre-planning phases, but like to do a project with him, like connecting our towns. So he does want to like be involved with like the server that way.
Okay. All right. Skelly said, "I don't know Crepper super well. I'll admit that but he seems to be nice and chill, not too unlike LD in a sense." I don't. Are you comparing him to LD, Skelly? Because I know LD for a long time, and I'm not sure if nice and chill would be the way
I mean, in the sense that he just seems to, like, he's not super high. Crepper is not super high profile. They're not, but they also
low
so
profile.
Yeah, low profile. I guess you shouldn't. I shouldn't necessarily say LD's low profile, but I'm more thinking about the not super interacting with other people, but still would do well on the role in my assessment.
Okay. All right. Would anyone else like to change their votes, or any other? Actually, are there any?
Well,
other comments?
Vicky said they would be open to it.
Yep. So Vicky's already.
No, I changed my vote.
Vicky's
Yeah.
changed her vote.
Yep. What's the thresholds for promotion these days?
50%, less than 15%, is it no's?
Yes.
But we don't have any no's, and it's
there aren't any, so that we're not in breach of that. As long as it's a majority, which in this case is 6, then that passes.
Mm-hmm.
Majority 4. Okay. So congratulations, Crepper.
Yeah,
Hold on. Can we just confirm no one's changing their vote? No one's, like any other comments?
I mean, I support everyone who's voting yes. I think I want to support that. I'm in the camp of I don't know him all that well. I do, but I don't. I do think that as has been mentioned, the endorsement that 7D and a couple others have given, that hopefully that'll be a pretty good indicator that Crepper wants to help out and everything. I definitely am not in a position where I think there are huge concerns that would prevent me from supporting. So I will be staying as neutral for this one, but I think in this case that that it's all well and good, and I'm certainly I think that y'all are willing to support. So great, let's happy to let that go through.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the same camp, Chief. I'm not going to change my vote, but if you guys think he deserves a chance, then yeah, let's go for it.
All right, 6-4 promoted then.
All right. next up is Lego. Okay, randomizing the list again. 7D is first, and he said 4. Chief?
Yes.
Hut? Mr. HVT, it is your vote. Is he here?
Yeah.
Yep.
I said 4 in
Okay.
staff.
I am going to vote for. Vicky?
I am also voting 4.
Okay. Dinty is voting 4. Skelly?
4.
Simon?
4.
Needon? Needon?
Needham said 4.
In chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
AP?
Sorry.
4.
Okay. That's, I mean...
10-0. I don't think we need to discuss any further.
Congratulations, Lego. It seems like everyone's for you, so.
Okay. All right. Next up is J Planner, formerly known as Yellow Witcher. First up is Hut. Neutral. Okay. Dinty is voting. I'll double check this here. 4. I am voting 4. Skelly.
4.
Chief.
Yes.
Needon.
Oh.
Okay. AP.
Yes.
7D voted 4. Simon.
4.
And finally, Vicky.
4.
Okay. Well, not nearly unanimous, but not quite. Hut, do you want to explain your neutral vote? Okay. That's a fair comment.
Yeah. My perspective is, I think they've become a lot more active in the server more recently over the last few months. So even though they've taken long periods out before then, I'm confident in them.
Here's a question. Didn't he make a sheet this time like he did last time, or did he not?
Sheet for what exactly?
Activity for the conductor candidate.
Yeah, it's in the form responses.
Yeah, no,
There's a tab for the month.
I did that check. It's a bunch of columns to the right. I said it in staff chat. I don't know if you missed it.
I must have.
Yeah, there's a bunch of columns saying how many days. Oh, sorry, how many logins they've had per month for, I guess April, May, June. No wait, no, sorry, May, June. I guess it'd be
May, June, July.
May, June, July, and also how many days they've logged in out of the month. So, yeah, so looking at the stats, none of the candidates we saw were like showed any red flags in terms of inactivity. So.
Yeah, I think it got buried in staff chat, so I must have missed it.
Okay.
I was going to be a little bit more on the neutral side, but then I was like, oh, I know he like seems to have just recently come back. So yeah, Hud, I do share some of your view on that. The trend line is going in the right direction, so I'm not concerned about it at this time.
For me, I've actually had some positive interactions in terms of working with him for World Edits. He seems to know what he's doing. He makes very clear instructions. He's pretty friendly with other members also, so I have no qualms about granting him conductor.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear to me that he wants to help out. So.
All right.
So that's a 910.
910. And our final candidate is underscore Fwiss. And first up is Simon.
I will go 4.
Okay, AP.
Neutral for now.
Okay. Needon.
Neutral.
Okay, Skelly.
4.
Vicky.
Neutral.
Dinty is voting. Let me double check here. 4. Chief.
Neutral.
I'm voting neutral. 7D is voting 4. And finally, Hut.
Neutral.
Okay. 4 fours and 6 neutrals. Does someone from the 4 side want to start this discussion off?
For me, it's fairly simple. I've had some good interactions with Friss. I think he will do well by the community. I think he is integrated well with the community. That's about it.
I second what Simon says. Simon says.
Yeah, we should do all what Simon says. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, Simon didn't say vote no.
Okay, so my concern with Fwiss is I don't know how best to describe it. I'm not entirely sure he's best on the maturity front. I'm trying to find the best words to describe it. Maybe catastrophized?
I hate to interrupt, but like last time I checked, like this was a she. So let
sorry.
me just look. But yeah, just
Thanks for
Check
correction. I
pronoun
wasn't
rule.
aware of that. She so I'm trying to find the best words, but I find that a lot of statements that Fwiss makes, she tends to catastrophize things. Like I get, or maybe more like just try to look for the negative things a lot. And I'm not sure if that's a good trait to have in a, well, maybe not so much in a conductor, but I don't know. It doesn't give me confidence to vote for at this point.
I'm just reviewing just like the interactions that I've had with Fwiss, and like they're not like any like negative. Like maybe once like a year ago, like that, like the world edit was a bit like the request was a bit messy. But I think world edit knowledge can be learned, and like Fwiss is like a valued part of the community. Like I mean everyone, but like really part of it, and I think that's a good thing. And also just yeah, I think she could deal with this pretty well. So I'm willing to switch my vote to 4.
Okay. Those were interactions a year ago, Needon. Has that improved?
Yeah, no. So that like that.
Recently, like.
So recently, so yeah, so the interactions that I've had recently weren't as many as before because, like, I don't know, maybe with time zones or stuff, or like just that she got busy a bit. But like, I mean, I've talked with her a few times about like projects and stuff, like roles and stuff, and she's like involved with that. And yeah, I don't know actually what qualities I would need to like actually focus on in like the interactions, but like I think I have confidence in her. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch over to a 4, but
Any other comments? Or any other people want to change their vote?
So how many votes is it currently? 6-4, isn't it?
6-4, 4 neutral, 0 against, and 5 did not vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now 6-4,
So,
which is passing.
yep.
Okay, with any more changes or comments, last call. All right. Fuss is
4 new
approved.
conductors.
Yep, 6-4.
Yep. Congratulations, everyone, for those who made it.
Okay. I guess I'll have to. I don't know, or Simon, if you want to help out with that, like do all the promotions and stuff.
Yep, I'll get that stuff now.
Okay, thanks. All right. Moving on to actual topics. So I put this topic a while back because it was stemmed out from actually Modern Art's warning. I would like to see if we can put some written rules around how the auxiliary discords work on the server. It's been kind of a really gray area since the time of MPOs many years ago. So yeah, I hope everyone has read through it. There's a lot in here. There are two main questions that I'd like to consider here. The first one is, should staff continue enforcing MRT rules on the auxiliary discords? Those that don't know, during the time of MPOs, the precedent that was set was yes. We did actually go on to some MPO discords and, make sure people are, not disrespecting each other. Disrespect was the main issue or infraction that we saw. MPOs aren't really a thing now, so the question is whether we want to continue doing that enforcement. There are pros and cons to each. I will mention the arguments against. I think Chief added a few more that I didn't add, so that's Chief writing it in, I believe. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, I did add a comment on. I can kind of talk through some of those thoughts if that helps.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead if you want.
Yeah, I mean, really, to me, taking a hands-off approach, like I agree with a lot of the arguments that you've mentioned. Taking a hands-off approach is a lot simpler to manage, both in terms of it's clear to us and to the community of where the jurisdictional boundaries are for any kind of rule stuff. The other thing that does too is, I mean, it because of, even though MPOs, like, those aren't really a big thing right now. So, in a lot of the auxiliary discords that we're seeing, they're much smaller scale. So, it's a pretty big burden to ask staff to be monitoring a subset of those. I'd much rather just, I think, have the knowledge, like have a clear boundary defined that this is the only official server where our stuff applies. And I think we generally have taken the approach that, take the stuff that's happened with Aqua and Harbor and a couple of those other people, where it's like they can do whatever the hell they want on their own Discord server. It's when they bring it onto main that it causes a problem. And I think that if we have a clear defined boundary of that'll at least make it a little bit clear to everybody of what the expectations are. I also did make in that comment, I did say that from a liability perspective, that's a lot cleaner if we indicate that those are servers that are being moderated by, yes, they're being moderated by our members, but that we're not vetting them. Thankfully, it's not like a liability, like that's not a big deal, or we thankfully have not had any kind of like actual scares with that. But especially given that, I do work, a lot of my work does touch our compliance department at work, that was something that I was thinking about, was just that, yeah, in terms of drawing clean lines, that it's a benefit that we get from being hands off and making that clear.
I think for me, the only thing we need to enforce is that if we don't support an auxiliary Discord, we don't let them link that Discord in the auxiliary Discord's channel. For me, that is the only enforcement action we should take as a separation.
Simon, by when you mean we don't support, I guess I think by we you mean the staff. What criteria would cause us to do that exactly? Like, can you think of some?
Well, it's
I guess.
If we don't believe it's being appropriately moderated, for instance, if there is harassment going on, something that would be in violation of our own rules, rather than enforcing it ourselves, if we believe there are any worries with that, I think the easiest action is just for us not to support that by having it not linked from the MRT Discord.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's like what you're proposing, but like if it's not, if the staff of that Discord server aren't providing a safe environment, then it would be a course of action to remove the Discord server from the auxiliary Discords, correct?
Sorry, Nina, what are you asking exactly?
Well, like I'm just rephrasing a bit, like in a way that like I think, like what do we see as like it not fulfilling like the MRT rules, like how bad does it need to go until we like step in? Like do we for like if something about, I don't know, what's a simple thing like paperwork, if something is said on there that the paperwork isn't good, then do we step in for that? Or if like people get a bit,
I mean,
like,
it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, but really it's got to be one of the more important rules that has been breached or
I agree with that. Like we shouldn't step in for like every single infraction, but like if there's like something big that like involves like the server's well-being, then I think we should still step in.
Okay.
Well, hang on. So my thought on that is that's a lot to ask of staff to monitor all those other Discords. Like I understand that we happen to be in a lot of these, and that traditionally a lot of these Discords have either granted a cosmetic role or one with advanced moderator permissions to MRT staff members just as a matter of convenience. However, we do not have ownership of these servers. They are owned, or they are created and moderated by our members, not the staff. So it is entirely possible. And so I would agree that if there's egregious cases where there's a lot of disrespect going on and other things that are inconsistent with our general code of conduct, then I would say that we should remove it from auxiliary Discords in that case. Yeah. However, beyond that, if we start evaluating other stuff, then that gets into this, that puts us right back to where we started in terms of having a gray area. So I'd rather just say if it becomes egregious, and it's one of those things that unfortunately I don't know if we can define what that means. I think it's more of a when you see it. And we would deal with it in that case.
I agree with that. Like I think it's mostly on the basis like if we see it and it's egregious, then we act on that, but otherwise it's the responsibility of server owners.
Yeah, there should be a clear disconnect. Like the MRT staff do not have any precedence in those other servers.
Just want to clarify here. When we say act, we're not going to step into those other Discords. We're basically stopping that practice. The only thing we can really do is remove the auxiliary Discord link. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, because there's nothing stopping. I think
the general I mean, it's difficult because if there's a clear case of harassment between two MRT members, it becomes difficult, but and it's always going to be on a case-by-case basis. But generally, I think that should be the policy.
Yeah, I'll throw another curveball here. Like, what if, going back to what happened with the MPOs many years ago, a lot of those harassment or disrespect, a lot of it leaked into into our Discord or in game. So
if it leaks into our channel, at that point we can take action. And likewise, if I'm going back to Modgate and when there was the specific I think it was the Sky Transit Discord or something that had been repurposed as a place to harass other members. Like if it's something particularly egregious, then under the rule where staff can take action that they see fit, then at that point we can step in and issue sanctions. But in general, because I think we can only talk about the more generalized cases, we will remove the link as a sign that we don't support it.
I can, in terms of from the MPO, at one point being liaison for them, trying to police all of the what we now call auxiliary discords was exhausting, and well above any person's capability, and how much it's expanded now. I don't think we have the capacity between us to police absolutely everything. We can.
I'm also thinking about. Yeah, I'm also thinking about, and I don't have any examples that are coming to mind right away, but what if, and I think that the chance of this happening, it's not zero. It is realistic. So at some point in the future, either we or an auxiliary Discord may want to introduce a new rule of some kind that the other party, that it goes kind of inconsistent of, or that for whatever reason they don't agree with, then if we are applying our rules onto their Discords, then they don't really have a choice in enforcing any new stuff that we come up with. So being able to separate those, I think, allows for them to make sure that it's moderated well. And I think anyone here would understand that, I'm not saying it should go that people should go and create a complete anarchy, right? Like, I think we all have a standard of mature and respectful behavior that we would hope that everybody is upholding, and that their stuff is consistent with our most important rules. But, I'm just thinking that there may be a case that we wind up introducing something that one server doesn't agree with, and then it becomes a problem if we then have to moderate our rule on their server.
So status quo, would you guys agree that the status quo for the auxiliary discords is that the staff is reactive to incidents on Discord?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we shouldn't. Yeah. We should only act if, like, we're not going to go looking. It's if we have to be made aware, or if we happen to see.
I would say that I'm in favor of the status quo, and not that the status. I'm in favor of changing. I'm in favor of keeping the status quo, which is that, one, the staff is reactive to incidents. The staff isn't going to actively patrol for incidents unless they're brought to their attention. Two, while the MRT rules does not necessarily stop when the MRT server proper stops, and MRT rules can be enforced for incidents that happen off server in egregious cases. The staff isn't going to actively go looking for violations on auxiliary discords.
Yeah.
So one problem I have with that, Skelly, is if you look historically and look on the website, there's a clause that says, I have to look it up here. Basically, it stems from the United Cities situation that happened years ago, where apparently people on that Discord were actively not reporting things to, like, or basically any infractions that were happening there were not being reported out to the MRT staff. We found out later. So that's why that clause is there. I don't know if I don't know if I like that, because again, because if we're going to stay with the status quo and reactive approach, that means that the only way we're going to know about things is if people report them, and there's no guarantee that people report them, right?
But the other way is assuming that staff will be in all of them to see.
Yeah, or the other way would be just say, let's be hands off about it. You can do whatever you want in those auxiliary discords.
Yeah, that is reactive. That is, if we get told about something, we may look into it.
Well, no. Hands off means we don't care what's happening in those other discords, full stop. If it comes on main, if it comes on the main server, we will deal with it then.
Yeah.
But if it is contained somewhere else, then being hands off means we don't care about it.
I think the problem there is when it is particularly egregious, like we saw with Modgates.
Right.
In
that case, then we would say that Discord cannot be advertised in a public setting.
Yeah, we're basically saying that the amount of action that we're going to take is just the Discord link, pretty much. Like it's basically a can of worms once we start enforcing things again. Like that. Again, we don't have the capacity to do it, and we have to go in there and try to sift everything that's gone on. Like, it's not pleasant for all parties involved. Simon, does that make sense to you, or do we need do we need to clarify here?
I think once again, it's always going to be a case by case, and it can be captured by staff reserve the right to take action. I'm just thinking in the most egregious cases where it's clear there's been player-on-player harassment. Are we saying that we're going to do absolutely nothing other than?
No, I get your point. Yeah, that is a concern.
That's a risk of.
I think in terms of what the policy needs to be, the policy. I think the policy can just say we are hands off and we'll just remove the Discord from the auxiliary Discords channel. And then any particularly egregious ones we need to take action with, well, we'll just do it under staff reserve the right to take action.
Yeah, MIR 3, like, yeah, if we have a member who
Nope, Chief, you got cut off there. Oh.
Cause a harassment like that, yeah, I think in situations like that, then we may have a case that is appropriate to file under MIR 3. I would say those are pretty few and far between, thankfully. So I would rather keep a simple approach and just say for now, or not even for now, but just take a simple approach. And our default stance is these are not moderated by the staff. So
yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing, just in different terminology. So I think we can.
Another terminology. This is our general policy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, because before we didn't have a general policy technically, because enforcement on the auxiliary discords was never written down. Actually, it's not in the rules. So this is what this topic is trying to.
Well, I suppose, is this a rule or is this I'd say this is more policy and procedure that if we're not happy, then we will remove it.
It sounds like a policy procedure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? I just want to make sure people are getting everything here, because it is.
Mind if I just recap what I wrote in the minutes, just to make sure I have everything?
Go for it, Vicky.
So I put, in general, outside of extreme circumstances such as harassment, MRT rules should not be enforced on auxiliary discords. However, if the behavior in any of these discords is found to be especially objectionable, then staff reserve the right to remove the link from auxiliary discords channel. Furthermore, if any behavior/drama associated with these discords leaks onto the official Minecraft or Discord servers, this behavior would be subjected to MRT rules.
I mean, if we look at this in the other way around, effectively what we've done is created a statute of limitations that the MRT rules apply only to the Minecraft server, the Discord server, and other official MRT platforms. Anything else, we're not enforcing.
Yeah, we only have jurisdiction over the platforms that we control.
I mean, is that what we want to put in the rules page instead? Just the following rules apply to official MRT services?
We could mention that somewhere. I don't know if it's in the rules page or policies, but we can, if you want to make that crystal clear.
Yeah, and on the auxiliary Discord channel of MRT rules don't apply here. The other servers, they probably have rules that are consistent with the MRT rules, but they're not the exact same. So there may be differences that we don't moderate.
Warning, you're going to a third-party external link exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just, again, I will put in a sticky post in auxiliary discords. I don't know how visible it'll be. I'm not sure if there's a way to make it more visible.
Just put it in the notification, or the text at the top, the channel description.
It
doesn't really show up on mobile.
Description's not the greatest.
Probably just something like read the pin post for guidelines or whatever, similar to Sirius or Politics, I believe. Both have them.
Yeah, ideally, if it was in the description, that would at least there's not that extra step that people have to do. So Simon, I'll try to do that, but I can't guarantee I can fit it in because it's the description, right? So
I think we're pretty much at a conclusion there.
At least for the first question. There's a second question, unfortunately. So yeah, unless there are any other comments, we're going to move on to the second question, which kind of follows. It might just this might be easy to answer because it falls on whatever we decide on question 1. So the second question is: should non-MRT members be allowed to join auxiliary discords?
We don't enforce it, so we don't care.
Pretty much. This
Yeah.
includes guests and band players too. So.
Yeah, it's up to individual servers to decide their membership criteria. If they want to enforce membership, I think they can validate it because we publish the member list. So they can validate it if they'd like. But again, yeah, we don't care because we're not moderating them.
I think probably the only grey area is when an auxiliary Discord is hosted by a member that gets banned. What happens at that point? But for me, I think we just remove the link because they are now a banned player.
Yeah, remove the link, and if it's
causing a problem, we get rid of the link. Otherwise, again, we don't moderate. So,
yeah.
I mean, if another player decides to post it, then
I don't think there's a reason to proactively remove it unless, again, like our general policy, unless they give us a one. So, generally speaking, I think we would.
It is more at that point that it's a non-member that is publicizing it, but for the rare event where that happens, we can look at it if needed.
Sorry, just to clarify, so we're not going to remove links just because they're the presence of a band member, correct?
No, I was talking if it's the band member that had shared the link that publishes that to the rest of the community.
Well, the link would have been shared a long time in the past, so the message is still there. I get what you mean. I mean, that member is not actively promoting it. Others might be, which may be a little awkward, but again, I don't want to, with taking a hands-off approach, that means we don't step in to do stuff like that unless they give us a reason.
I'm not talking, I'm just talking if a player gets banned, their auxiliary Discord links are removed from the auxiliary Discord channel.
But then we don't really do that for anything else they've done.
But for me, it's more only MRT members should be able to advertise auxiliary Discords. But it's an edge case, so I'm happy either way.
How can non-MRT members advertise it on the MRT?
Yeah,
I'm saying that the banned player, if a player gets banned, then they become a non-MRT member. And it would be if their link was still in that channel from before they were banned.
I don't think that's that much of a problem as long as it's not just like banned people on there. Like if they're still like, I don't know, complicated. But like, I mean, it's still like, it doesn't really matter that much.
As long as we mentioned it in the previous topic, is that if we have the right to remove that.
Exactly.
We can apply it in that instance if we so choose at the time.
Yes.
I guess we'll find out when that happens, if that happens. So. Okay.
So we're not gonna write down in policy saying that we're gonna remove these discords at the current time.
At the current time, yeah. Well,
if we need to, that's a minor enough thing that we can do that under staff reserve the rights.
Okay. Okay, there's one little unless any other comments about this question, because there's one little thing I want to add on to this, or something we need to consider. So this whole topic came from a level 3 warning we gave to Modern Art, not even less than a month ago, because in that instance, a non-MRT member came on to that auxiliary Discord, made a disrespectful comment, and Modern also followed up with that. So do we want to retroactively remove this warning or keep it as is? Because we're changing policy now.
How far back do you go? I think we should just say it's not a retroactive policy. This is the policy from now on. Because otherwise we could say, well, we did this a year ago as well, and there was another instance 18 months ago. And yeah, I just don't think it's worth going back. I think we should make this policy from now.
Because if we extrapolate it back, then we get back to the October the 4th issues, and that's not a kind of worms we want to reopen.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll put that on to question 1 because I think that'd probably be the best place to put it.
I would imagine Modern might have questions about it, but at least I want to deal with it now before, make a decision on that. Before he might question that. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. That was a pretty good discussion, honestly. I think we got what we wanted there. Okay. Moving on to topic 6A. Fresk, who's now known as D. Danny, would like to make a walking trail, and we added it to this agenda because we didn't know what to do with it. So let's discuss it.
I'd say
Yeah, he has endorsement from all the towns that surround it. I see no problem with this.
Go ahead, Skelly.
I'd say that we only added it to the agenda because functionally it's like a road, so you might as well treat it as a road. That said, I don't personally have any problems with it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Like, it's fine. It should be, it belongs in the GSM because it's inner city, but, it'll be fine.
Yeah. It's effectively parkland, which I don't have any issues with.
Okay.
I think there is another discussion of this is setting a precedent.
Well, I've got no problem with a precedent being that any missed topics like this are decided at a meeting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's kind of in the gray area because it's sort of do the plots and the bars and the rest stops do they extend the claim area, or do they all that stuff? You don't want people to get big claims by doing a lot of roads, but I think we can just evaluate on a case-by-case basis. And I think in this case, with just really small settlements, just one bar at a time at a place or something, I don't think that's something we need to worry about. But
this is just going between 3 nearby towns, so in this instance, that isn't something we have to worry about.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're just to be clear, we're saying we're not going to add any rules around walking trail. We're just going to say, in future, if someone else were to make a walking trail proposal, they just have to go to GSM, right?
If it's this long and it's between towns, then it might as well, to avoid opening the can of worms.
Okay. As if it was a road, because it is, you could just, it is kind of. Okay. Any objections? Okay, moving on. So that's approved. Next up is these next two are interesting. It's all about moving stations and MRT lines. Burn Cow wants to move the entirety of ZS26 station underground to build a road on top. Is this all that's in the email? I don't know if there's some
Yes.
Okay.
It was a short email. In hindsight, we probably should have asked for more detail before.
Maybe. like what kind of like what's the road or something? Yeah.
So my understanding, just from my guess, is this: if you teleport to me, is this road here? He's wanting to extend it the other
She.
side. Sorry, she. It, so this road would expand through. I know not many people actually ride the MRT, but I'm always pro rider, and I think I don't like putting lines underground. I'm tempted to say no, and they will have to plan around it as is.
Can we? The road only. The station only blocks a very maybe a third of the road.
Yeah, like
Can we
we
move
could.
this? Can we move the station over? Is that an option?
Yeah, but like if we were to move it over one segment per se.
It just creates a problem with precedent if now all towns want it move over to 10 blocks, and it becomes quite a hassle.
Mm.
When realistically, what would be easier is the road diverting slightly to the right, and we just remove a pillar, which is noticeably easier.
Have we moved?
Because is going to have to turn. The road's going to have to turn anyhow, because otherwise, 20 blocks later, it hits the water.
But it's just this case only we're talking about. There's this singular move for this singular road.
I will have to. Does anyone know of any other cases where we had to move MRT stations to accommodate?
I think in Arcadia Merville we did move it underground to accommodate an airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of, I forget your name. So I forget the name of Vicky's town.
Larkspur?
Larkspur, yes. Of the station wasn't moved per se, but it was buried.
Yeah, I did not do anything to the. I'm assuming you're talking about under LAR.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not move it, but I buried it. I made it a tunnel, but it wasn't I did not touch the track itself.
Yeah. So sorry, my brain had a moment.
So honestly, there have been cases where it sounds like there have been cases where we have moved stations underground, but those are circumstances where there's a large, a significant structure coming in. Like in Merville, it's an airport. In Larkspur, it's major changes, right? This here seems more like it's just in the way. It's
Yes.
Is it really difficult to just do a slash move? Is it that?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, I think the only thing we'd really have to do otherwise is move this house a little bit.
It'd be to move.
Are you suggesting moving the station from Paul?
That's what I initially said.
I think moving the station a bit east, we don't have to redraw the line. It's just the dyno marker that needs updating, so that wouldn't be egregious.
Sorry, I think you misunderstood what I said. That's what I was initially proposing. So yeah.
Well, the dyno marker and the World Guard region and the teleport spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean nothing. Not as significant as having to redraw the entire line.
Yeah. I guess before we can even do that, we have to ask Byrne if she would think that was a acceptable solution for her. So
I mean, I'm equally tempted to put a new precedent in place, which is that if you want an MRT line redirected, you have to get a staff sponsor, because at that point you have someone that's willing to take the time to redraw on the line if needed, move the marker, update world guards, so on and so forth. Could we just put that in place? So I suppose ultimately this is, if this were any other third party rail, this wouldn't have to go to a GSM. Yes, the MRT is important to the server, but could we just make a precedent now that if you are wanting to redivert an MRT line, just get a staff member to sponsor it, and if they're willing to do everything for it, then what's the hassle? As long as you're not adding a new station or removing a station, it's not that big a deal.
I can see edge cases like somebody moving it so it's 5 meters away from the next one down the line, but that is an extreme extrapolation, and
And at
I
that
think
point, we can always go back on it. But
I doubt.
Yeah, I think it's easier if you just. I think it's easier. Like I like the staff sponsor idea, but like still tie it to like a staff meeting so that like staff can look at it and see like, hey, this is not egregious. Like in this case, we can like we're looking at it now, and so we can see it's not egregious.
But we
like,
we wouldn't be doing this if Intrarail was wanting to move part of its line underground.
No, but that's not like the backbone, like the state like the server infrastructure
The
that
MRTs
is MRT.
The MRT is a little different because we have Dynmap lines and World Guard regions, and there's a whole other stuff that needs to happen if a station's going to be moved. So
To be honest, I think if someone wants to move their MRT station to like instead of like along the western border of their town to the eastern border, I think that's quite a difference, and like it doesn't like match with like how the line was intended, and like I don't think it's like if we open that kind of worms, we can just keep on going pretty much.
the next topic
Sure.
with what Durgan's proposing is a little more involved, so we're gonna, we'll discuss that. But this one here, I don't know. It's like literally.
Well, I mean, if moving it underground would be more involved, which would be the original suggestion.
So what I'm not suggesting the underground. I think that's out of the question. I think it just simply would Burn be okay with just moving the station over a little bit?
Or I'm saying, actually, shall we just allow it to be moved underground as long as they can get a staff sponsor who is willing to do the work for it?
But I think what I'm saying is I wouldn't be in favor of moving it underground. That seems a bit. It's already overground. That seems a bit much, in my opinion. Just for one station.
I mean, it happens like with newly built, but that's like that. Then it's like otherwise you can just like as soon as like your town is mayor, you can just like make it like do 3 loopings through the town and just. I
yeah,
think
but
that,
staff are going to be sensible about this. Like, if they're suggesting something stupid, then I mean, yeah, I'm happy for it to continue going to the GSM or ISM if that's what's needed. But I think for these projects, it would be helpful to have a staff sponsor that's willing to do the work when we go into this.
yeah, I agree with that.
Because otherwise, we're committing to someone doing quite a lot of work without knowing who that is.
Agreed. Okay. So how about we say this? Next, Burn will have to repropose this, get a staff sponsor, and we're suggesting that they move the station over instead of putting it underground.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
sounds
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that worth? I know we've gone past the community issues segment, but is it worth cementing that on the policies page that relocation of MRT
Let's-
tracks or station
Let's
is?
come back to that after the next one because that one's a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are we good? I think we're good on that one. So basically, yeah, we're gonna have to resubmit. The next one is Durgan, also known as RL Crafters, in C Lane wants to realign the Expo and Desert lines that go through his town. And if you look at the screenshots, yeah, it's a bit involved.
I mean, I'd be willing to sponsor it myself if that's the issue. Like, this is well planned out, this is well thought out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I'm more in favour of this than I am the previous one. Yes, it is more involved, and there's obviously 3 lines instead of 1. But
yeah,
Yeah.
Like it probably has like I think it has like a clearer like goal than like a road that like could be diverted. Like it does like seem like condensing like the lines, and it's not like a far move. It's just like it's not like Burn Cow proposed like moving it entirely underground. It's just a few blocks, but it's just a lot of work. And as long as the staff member is willing to do that, I have no issues with that.
Yeah, apologies. I thought when I first read this, I think I misread it. I thought it was going to be like shifting the whole line over to like one side, but now I'm looking at it, it's not actually that.
Yeah, it's just tracks. I don't think
Well,
you're gonna plan on moving like any stations.
Yeah.
I think
the stations are moving, but it's a couple of blocks inwards.
Yeah, the station modules are moving.
Oh, okay, I don't see that.
The same. So if you teleport to me, effectively, where this wolf line is here, this would be the new alignment. So the desert line would move north a couple of blocks. The expo line would move south.
So just narrowing it, basically.
Yeah, narrowing it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I would have said what we had said to Bern, come back to the next meeting with a staff sponsor, but AP has volunteered here, so I'd be prepared to say yes with AP sponsoring and carrying out the works.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the same time zone as well. So it's... Sorry, Vicky.
Oh no, I just said I'm fine with that.
And in terms of the general policy, now we'll discuss both of them. What would people's thoughts be on that being an official policy on the policy and procedures page?
I would have no problem with it. Would it go in under a particular section, Simon? I'm just looking at the page here. Oh.
Is there a section that's I'm not looking at the page, but is there a section that says MRT construction projects have to have a staff sponsor? Because that's another policy we have.
Yeah, there is a header called new MRT lines. So if you're going to add it to that section, I guess you'd have to rename the section to something like
just MRT line construction.
Yeah, new, or I guess new and like new stuff and modifications, I guess, or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think construction should just be a general term for new or changes.
Okay. All right. Unless there are any objections or questions, we'll add that onto the page as a policy or official policy. And yeah, we've approved 6C. AP will be doing all that work. Okay. Anything else? Or we're going to move on. Okay.
Enjoy redrawing those two lines on Dynmap, AP.
No.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, moving on to 8A. Missa would like to take ownership of Airlink.
I think they already own most of the Regio link.
Yeah, it's a fairly well. I think it did transfer anyway with Auto's assets, but obviously it's a bit in contention. But I'm happy to cement that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's all right as well.
Okay. Any other objections? Okay, approved. And then finally we have 10A, the Lakeshore West allocations. Someone's supposed to announce this, or you need it, I think, or
Yeah, so I edited like 10 minutes, within an hour of like that it was like finalized. So I sent a message like in the chat that like I edited last minute, and like I just forgot to put like which stations will be available at the end of the GSM. So I put that like at the beginning of this meeting. I put that down there. So but pretty much two people have requested a station, and like they can also both get that because like there were two different stations. So Lexi 9076 can get LW45, and Aquatic Arrow can get LW42 if it's all fine. Yeah, any questions, let me know.
sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I had to copy the topic name into the minutes because it didn't copy over.
Oh, that was added after that copied. Yeah, sorry about that.
It happens. I put it in.
Okay. I guess the extension's open now. You need it. I guess I don't know if you need to do anything here.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
be open.
if you want, if like we will open it, like if people TP to the extension first, like you can TP to me, and like we will cut the ribbon, and then we will formally open it, and then people can travel it.
Oh, we're doing it right on the tracks. This is dangerous. I don't like this.
Oh, I see dispensers on this side. I'm scared.
So everyone here, okay. So thank you all for coming here. We were really excited to work on this. We got some help at some point from Simon for like some station work. Jay was also involved, and the rest of us like are here. Us three.
Screw you guys.
Okay, I consider it open.
I'm gonna take a card from the station like a, a real person.
Oh,
And
sorry.
Simon is blocking the way. Good
I was
job,
standing
Simon.
in the wrong place.
Good job, Simon.
My bad.
Also, I like how this station was done up. When I built the Western line through here, it was literally just a hole in the ground.
I think it's at least a bit better now as it now has exits, so. But just a note of warning, Las Playas, Frogstown doesn't have an exit yet. Like we messaged him about it, but like he hasn't done it yet. So like we're still waiting on that. But other than that, all stations have exits, and the claim signs should be reflect. I don't know. I'll just check the ones that were assigned now. Like they might not been updated yet, but
Okay, cool. I guess we'll just ride the rest of the line here. But while that's happening, I guess we can start doing questions or any other Q&A for the end of the meeting here. Okay, so if you have any questions or concerns or whatever things you want to say regarding these topics or anything else, if you, I guess message me in game or in Discord, and then we can address them now. I have to say, whenever there was a time a long time ago, years ago, when we would do the Q&A, and there were a lot of questions, even like serious questions. But now it's like no one wants to say anything, so I'm like, okay.
Was that more just when the meetings were private though?
Maybe. I'm trying to remember. No, I think there was a part where it was public, and there was a lot of activity.
yeah, but it died down soon after. To be honest, like after it got public, like.
Yeah, because I think people get an insight into our decision process.
Yeah, people like the mystery.
Oh, so I don't think there was anything particularly controversial. Obviously, we discussed auxiliary discords, but it was pretty agreeable considering what it could have been.
This was pretty boring. Like,
so for this mean that the MPO admin is no longer a role for real?
I think it's fair to say, like it wasn't for a while.
Yeah, after I resigned, it pretty much.
Yeah.
Or the admin specific roles besides head admin in general? Are those just done now?
For now.
I still want my city rank role.
I mean, if you want it, Simon, you can have it.
No, I'm joking. I don't particularly care.
There's also the question, like, we don't have that. The reason we had those roles is because we have enough admins to spread the love around, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's applied that Simon does the city ranks up. It's his baby.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We don't really have a meeting coordinator anymore either, really.
Don't seem to really need one.
I think Cece had it, and then Cece resigned.
I mean, at this point, Vicky, I think we can call you the meeting person.
Yeah.
The amount you've done.
I mean, I guess, speaking of meetings, I'll be gone for the next two. The next meeting I'll be able to make is the September ISM.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll deal with the minutes for that, Vicky. So, but thanks for all your help.
In that case, is it time for the silly questions?
Should we just head to general and we can just chat generally?
Yeah, we can end the meeting and then talk in general. If oh wait, no, there is a silly question. Hold on. There's a very
But
silly
ask-
question,
Z to circle when?
There are things on the cards. There are kind of some.
I know, it's my clan.
Yeah, the so-called union, which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like a thing like for like one of the sections written up, but I just like have not gotten to it because I had to move, and now school's about to start up. Not this week, but next week.
Myself and 70 are planning the Southeast extension, the L extension, if you will. But I'm reluctant to get it myself because, well, it's serving my own town.
Wait, what extension was that, sorry?
Southeast
Oh, nice.
from Bahia.
Mind if I see a map if you got it?
AP, have you seen the thread that Simon started in planning?
I think I've had a glance over it.
Okay, you may want to just look that over because if you're going to build any new lines, that's going to be part of that. So.
Fred's MRT planning.
Yeah, if you get that, I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I'm in it now. I noticed the southeast section does omit the southeast line, ironically.
No, it shouldn't do. That image I've just sent you.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty much what myself and 7D were planning with the southeast anyway, albeit that proposal goes a little bit further, I believe.
Yeah, you don't have to extend the full way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all rough ideas right now, so yeah.
Yeah, and then so the red line's the union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the meeting to a close then. So yeah, the ISM is 2 weeks from now on next Sunday, so August 28th. And then yeah, pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the end of the meeting. Thanks everyone for attending. We're gonna move on to general. See ya.
Go home.